Hi, and welcome back. Today we are in Cisco Packet Tracer Lab, again with the purpose to, we're going to create an email server today. We already went ahead and laid out the topology for us. What we have on the Gigabit Ethernet 00 side is the 172.16.0.1 or the Class B IP address range. And on the Gigabit Ethernet 01 side of the router, we have the 10.0.0.0 or 1 class IP address range A. So without further ado, let's go ahead and assign these interfaces the IP addresses. If you notice here, the flags are red, and that's just because these interfaces haven't been enabled yet. Excuse me. So what we're going to do is go ahead and enable those. Make sure your ports are enabled when you do that. Should be 255.255. Yep. And same thing for 01 here. Well, we're going to use the other side of the interface's IP address range 01. It should be 255.0.0.0. Okay, great. So the next thing we need to do is go ahead and assign the PCs their IP addresses. Let's go ahead and do that. And their default gateways are going to be this router's interface on this side of the router, which is 10.0.1, 0.0.1. Okay, awesome. So we need to do the very same thing to the second PC. As you see here. And the default gateway is going to be, again, the 10.0.0.1. Okay, so now that we've done that, what we need to do is go ahead and assign the server its IP address. So let's go ahead and we're going to do that next. Let's give it the 172.16.0.2. Okay, and now it has its IP address. So after the server has its IP address, what we need to do is look into the services. We need to make sure as well that the default gateway is selected for the server also, which is going to be the 172.16.0.1 or the Gigabit Ethernet 00's port. Okay, now we can go to the services. And what we need to do here is we need to choose a domain name. You can use Yahoo. I'm going to use Google. So that's going to be gmail.com. And I'm purposely not going to set it because I want you all to see something here. When you accidentally don't set the domain name, and also just make sure you know your ports POP3 is 110 and make sure that's enabled, and your port simple message transfer protocol service is on as well, and that's port 25, I think. And so let's go ahead and create our users, and I won't forget about that domain name, but let's create our users right now. And in it, you could just put user one. In an enterprise setting, we wouldn't use 123. We would use at minimum 8 characters, a special character, and an uppercase character and a number included in that password as well. But let's go ahead and just create these users for now. For ease, and we're not going to forget about this. We're going to see what happens when we don't set that. Okay, so after we've done that on our server, the next thing we need to do is we're going to go ahead and on the individual PCs is where we're going to configure the email service. And we're just going to use a couple, we're going to just use Jack for the first name. And that email is going to be, he's going to be user1@gmail.com. And the incoming server is going to be 172.16. 0.2, and same for the outgoing server, right? Because it's the same machine. And that login username is user1 at Gmail. Or actually here, this is just login information. So that one's just going to be the user's name and password. And should be added after we press save. Okay, so we need to do the same thing for the second PC. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's minimize it now. Okay, and we're going to use Jill for this one. That's okay. And remember, this is the second user, so we're going to use user 2's handle or email address name. And the incoming server is the same, 172.16.0.2, and same for the outgoing. And the user 2 is the name, and the password is 123. Now, this is where we're going to try to send a message to Jack at 10.0.0.2 from 10.0.0.3 from Jill. But what's going to happen is it's going to mention that we don't have a domain set because we don't. I didn't select it. That's what I was having you all look out for. And we're just going to put in the line testing. Testing, testing, testing. Great. Now, when we try to send this, it's just going to say the domain's unavailable. What we're going to have to do is go back into the server. Server not found, excuse me. We got to go back to the server, you all. And we need to, this time, set Gmail's name as a domain name. So, gmail.com. So now that it's set, you see how it's gray? Can't select it anymore. Let's go back to Jill's computer. Is it there? Yep. Now let's send this email to Jack. Okay, great. So let's go over to Jack's device and we're going to go to the email services and we're going to look at what was received. And great. We got an email here from Jill and it just says testing, testing, testing. And I'm going to reply received. Received. We're just going to type received. And let's go back to the second PC, Jill's PC. And let's see what Jill has. Okay. And it's received. So very good. That was just a quick configuration of an email server. If you all have any questions or anything like that, please don't hesitate to let me know in the comments, or if you see any room I have for improvements, please do let me know. Share, tell a friend, and until then,